So while warning donors but reassuring the public, GOP Intel chair unloaded personal stocks before COVID-19 smashed markets. So a look at financial records reveal that Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Senator Richard Burr last month, just as he was warning big dollar donors but not the general public about the looming threat of the coronavirus, personal stock holdings worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, many of them in industries now seriously impacted by the outbreak, he offloaded that money. So according to Open Secrets, Burr and his wife, Brooke, sold between $581,000 and $1.5 million in publicly traded stocks on February 13th and didn't buy new positions, according to recent financial disclosures filed with the Senate. Around the time that Burr sold shares of major corporations, including several hard-hit hotel companies, he publicly expressed confidence about the U.S. government's ability to fight the virus. However, in late February, Burr privately warned that the virus is, quote, much more aggressive in its transmission than anything we have seen in recent history, according to a recording obtained by NPR. The hotel industry is asking President Donald Trump for a bailout as Americans increasingly avoid travel. In an audio recording obtained by NPR, the North Carolina Republican was heard telling donors at a luncheon on February 27th that the coronavirus, officially called COVID-19, would likely spread through the population aggressively and suggested it could kill hundreds of thousands of people. So Burr said, it is probably more akin to the 1918 pandemic. He added, referring to the flu pandemic, which killed more than 600,000 Americans. Just 2 days earlier, Trump was telling the press that the U.S. was very close to finding a vaccine for COVID-19, while complaining on social media that Democrats were unfair to his administration in their criticism of the response to this outbreak. The recording raises questions about why Burr felt the need to keep what he knew contained, wrote Peter Wade at Rolling Stone. Was the fear of backlash from Trump stronger than his desire to save American lives? So this part I find interesting. Former Labor Secretary Robert Reich pointed out, Burr did not share his warning to donors with the American people, quote, to the general public. Reich tweeted, quote, he made no such warnings and gave no such advice. About a week after the luncheon on March 5th, Burr struck a reassuring tone in public statements about the virus, telling constituents, quote, we have a framework in place that has put us in a better position than any other country to respond to the public health threat like the coronavirus. Since then, the U.S. has lagged behind other countries in testing people for the coronavirus, while healthcare workers have reported dangerous shortages of ventilators and protective equipment needed to treat people with the coronavirus. So his statement saying that we have a framework in place that has put us in a better position than any other country to respond to the health threat like the coronavirus is an exaggeration and extremely hyperbolic and trying to calm everyone's fears around it. But at the same time, it calms investors' fears as well. But it seems like if you're in the know, if you got to be at that luncheon, you were able to take advantage of advanced knowledge and pull money from the markets to share your own, to sort of shore up your own financial well-being. Now, if you had access to that information, it's hard to begrudge someone from acting on it, but it isn't hard to begrudge someone from keeping it secret. Like, if you know that this is going to be a problem and you are going to pull money from the markets and you hold a public position, a public service position, public office, you should be sharing that. Now, I noticed that AOC tweeted that public officials should not be allowed to hold stock in private companies, which is an interesting position. It's one I haven't considered very thoroughly, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea. If you bar officials from holding stock in privately held companies, that removes some conflict of interest. Now, I do want to point out he's not the only congressperson to have sold his shares in multiple companies. This was reported that multiple senators, particularly in the Republican Party, but also in the Democratic Party, among them Dianne Feinstein, who I have no love for. But it's interesting, people were pointing out that as Fox News reported on this, they reported, oh, it was Dianne Feinstein and other senators. Dianne Feinstein and other senators. It's like, okay, well, thanks for making this a partisan issue. It's not. It's really a public servant versus public interest issue. But this is it's untoward. The term insider trading is the one that comes to mind, guys.
So this was interesting because it's only one nice thing that was done in the Obama years was all of a sudden they're like, you know what? You should be able to do insider trading as a congressperson, which I think before 2016, maybe 2014, one of those years, maybe another, was perfectly legal to do. It was perfectly legal to be a congressman sitting inside a private meeting with people that know a lot about what's about to happen with the market or a bill that's about to pass, and then go outside and call your investor and go, hey, can I get 100 in Apple, please? That was perfectly legal. And so it's only now that it's not. So let's see if they prosecute any of these people. I think you don't need to hold your breath because if you're a congressperson or a senator, well, unless you steal from the rich, I mean, you can get away with just about anything. You want to personally enrich yourself off of the stock market and a pandemic that's coming your way? Go for it. I don't think that they're going to do anything about it, even though it is now clearly illegal to do this. And we have to, as people, fight back more against this. If you are with Feinstein and she is your senator, let your neighbors know Feinstein or anyone else that's on this list has just profited off of the death of Americans with insider information that they did not want to tell other people that could have saved lives, but they let it pad their pocket.
All right, here's the issue. We have a corrupt system. I've always keep saying that. And this Congress that's currently representing us is bought and sold. They only care about their money. They only care about their special interests. They only care about their stocks. They only care about what's going to affect them and them alone, not you guys. So whether you're a diehard Republican or a diehard Democrat, guess what? You do not have a seat at the table because the DNC and RNC are friends. This is a political game. And if this isn't the moment right now where we have to wake up, where we're seeing Democratic and Republican, I'm going to say it again, both Democratic and Republican elected officials basically doing insider trading and then profiting off of our pain, I have to say this. We have to reevaluate the way we look at our political system. We have to look at the way we do elections in this country, and we have to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, we can no longer at any point just sit in the sidelines and just assume that the people on top know what they're doing, because guess what? Coronavirus has showed us that no, they don't. It is a small, minute virus that has just basically broken the entire system. The stock market is crashing, and there's nothing we can do about it. And the top 1% are just there profiting. They're just there sipping their wine. They're all there drinking together. They're all having fun times together. But at the end of the day, who's hurting? It's you that's hurting. It's all of you that's hurting. It's all of us that are hurting. This isn't right. Justice must be done. But they're not going to be held accountable. They're going to get away with this in this corrupt system. But the thing is, it's going to keep going on and on and on if we give our silent, obedient consent. And as far as I'm concerned, I think those days are done. It's time for you to step up.
Hey, welcome to Hard Lens Media. We're Evolution of Manly, the show about the evolving ideas of what it means to be a man in today's society, and we are shooting here at the 99 Perspective Studio. You can see us and a bunch of other shows on their website, which is in the link in the description below. Yay. I forgot he said 15 seconds, so I think that first one is probably not even close to 15 seconds. That's all right.